Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here, and I'm going to do another form critique for you guys today. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Alright, the one I'm going to do next, a couple other people asked me to do her video, and actually I've seen this girl on the POG show before, so she's going to be YouTube famous before long at this rate. But here's her video.
Hey Jason, my name's Tassia, and I was wondering if maybe you could critique my squat and my deadlift form. Basically, my goal right now is to get stronger to be able to compete in a powerlifting competition within like the next year or so. I just started out lifting. I started out around 9 months ago. Yeah. So yeah, if you could just give me a few pointers on what I can do to get better. Thanks.
Alright, it's a fairly long video because she has an intro explaining what she's doing and then demonstrating a couple of different lifts. Now, I want to say that, first of all, the fact that there are more young women getting involved in competitive powerlifting is awesome. So I really want to encourage that. And hopefully some of my other female subscribers see this and get motivated to do so also, because I think it's a very, very positive thing. We do not have enough women competing in powerlifting, in my opinion. And I think it's a great sport for females in general, just in terms of the health benefits and the recompositioning benefits it can have on their bodies. So let's break this video down a little bit. First of all, for 9 months of training, I'm very impressed by your squat strength. You're doing very, very well there in terms of the strength department, and I think in another year, like you're saying in a year, I think you will be prepared to step up on the platform and place pretty well at powerlifting meets. You're not going to be at the bottom of the field if this is where you're at already at 9 months. But we need to look at the problems because you have some major technique and form issues that really need to be addressed as you get stronger in order to, one, get more strength and development, and two, prevent injuries. Now, on the squat, I do think that you are structurally built for the low bar squat. However, the way that you're going about it is wrong. And rather than try to fix everything, what I want to do is fix the biggest problems, because sometimes when you fix these bigger problems, the other stuff will go away and new problems develop. So you can't always fix everything in one go, because it will change everything when you change one thing. Now, you have a lot of trouble keeping your chin up and your chest up, and you have a lot of forward lean out of the hole. And I don't think that's necessarily what you're doing at the bottom that's causing it. I think it's your setup that's causing it. I think your bar position is pretty good on your back for low bar for your structure. However, I think that for you, you're gripping that bar way too narrow. You shouldn't be doing a narrow grip personally. I'd like to see you almost out to the collars or almost out to the actual J hooks when you unrack it. Because for you, I think that's going to let you keep your chest up more while keeping your scapula back if you take a wider grip. Because you do need to focus on keeping your chest up more and don't let your head duck so much, because for you, as soon as your chin ducks, your chest comes forward further and your hips shoot up at the bottom. So if you can get that grip adjustment, I think it's going to help you tremendously there. The other thing that I noticed as far as your technique, I think for your structure, because again, you've got a fairly long torso and you have long femurs. So you're going to have problems with forward lean if you're not careful. So what I would like to see, and particularly for you low bar squatting, I would like to see a wider stance. You are also built to squat with a relatively wide stance, and I don't mean you have to be all the way out to the edges of the rack, but I would like to see your stance come out about 6 inches more than what you're doing, and I would like to see you focus more on turning your knees out in order to get better hip drive and to stay more upright out of the bottom. I think that that's going to help you. Also, I would like to see you set your lower back and hips a little tighter at the top on your setup. You want to get those tight and pulled back just a little further than what you're doing so that you have more stability on the way down. And I think that will fix most of your problems. Now, as far as accessory work goes, there are a couple of weaknesses that I see immediately. You do need to work on your hip mobility just a little more, so doing some mobility squats regularly, or third world squats, which are things that I like to do. Personally, I think those are going to help you with your hip mobility, and I would like to see you strengthen your abs just a little bit. So a little more low rep, heavy core work is going to help you improve your squat tremendously, and I think all of those things combined are going to help with that forward lean out of the bottom and help you stay more upright out of the bottom. And it's going to give you more power, and it's going to put less stress on your back. Now, as far as your deadlift, rather than break everything down wrong with the deadlift, I just want to touch on a couple points, and then once you fix those things, you'll be able to reassess your deadlift later. First of all, you're very much having a problem with the bar pulling you forward, and it's because you aren't dropping your hips as low as you need to for your structure. And just like I discussed in the video I did earlier today, I would like to see you drop your hips and pull back. Rather than pull up, I would like to see you rock back onto your heels. So come up, almost go into a stiff leg and drop your hips down and pull back. And I want you to focus on pulling the shoulders back and rocking onto the heels out of the bottom. And number two, because you're using the hex plates and because you have an issue with the bar pulling you forward, I would not want to see you do any touch and go deadlift. For you personally, I think that you need to do a full reset on every single rep. And that means if you have to readjust your foot spacing due to the hex bar hitting the ground at a different angle, do that. If you have to regrip the bar, do that. But mainly I want to see you reset your hips. So on every rep, I would like to see you almost stand back up with the hips and drop them down and then pull when you get to the bottom of the drop. So again, you pull backwards, you pull the slack out of the bar, and you get hip drive initiated out of the bottom because you're dropping down with the hips and then pulling back. And that's going to let you get more heel and hip drive. So I would like to see you do that on every single rep. And I think those things are going to fix most of the problems with your squat and deadlift, and I think you're going to see some improvements in your strength. And I think particularly on your deadlift, if you make that adjustment, I think your numbers are going to start going up a lot faster because you're going to get a lot more power and you're going to get a lot more stability. And I wish you the best of luck in your powerlifting meets next year. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that one. I will try to get at least one more of these out later today, so I will talk to you next time.